Alright guys, so here are the figures out of the packaging. Let's go ahead and take a look at them one by one. So the first one we have right here is Steadfast. Now Steadfast, I believe it's Sergeant Steadfast, so he's probably the leader. Not my favorite, which is why I have this guy in the front. But yeah, you can see he has a military kind of like cyber look to him. As you can see, he has a robotic arm. And pretty much the rest of him is more of like a military vibe, as you can see. He comes with this helmet that you could pop off. And there's his face. Kind of looks like a Stone Cold a little bit. He does look a little deformed, but I feel like it kind of works for this because, you know, you could say that he's been in wars and that's why his face is messed up. You know, he has scars because he's been in a war, stuff like that. And it does kind of look like he does have scars, as you can see, which they probably did make it look like that. So that's cool. Here's the helmet that he came with, if you want to see it. It looks really cool. It reminds me of the helmet off of the 2007 Ninja Turtles movie with Raphael. His helmet, the Night Watcher. That's what it kind of reminds me of. I really like this helmet. It's really cool. Now, this helmet does not fit on any of the other guys that I have, or the girl that I have. That doesn't fit on any of them. It only fits on Steadfast. So I don't know if it's just this figure. Maybe I have to get the other figures and test it out. But for now, this only fits on Steadfast with the figures that I have now. So he does come with this blaster. I think it's a submachine gun because it has a scope on it and it has like a drum at the bottom of it. So maybe it's a submachine gun. Not for sure. So there it goes. It looks really cool. It'll look really cool painted. But we could do that for $1, you know, $1.25. So back to the figure. Now the articulation on this figure, again, it's $1.25. You're not going to get a lot of articulation. But the head does go left to right. It doesn't feel like it goes a full 360. I feel like I'm going to break it if I do a full 360. The arms do go up. And they go back around. Again, full 360. The legs do move separately on their own, but the only thing they could do is kick forward. They can't really kick back, especially for this guy because he has like this back piece that sticks out. You can see this back piece sticks out a lot. So I wonder if this is going to hinder him sitting in vehicles or something. But yeah, he does have this back piece that sticks out a lot. And yeah, that's all the articulation. There's only 5 points of articulation, which is the shoulders, the thighs, and the head. And that's about it for a $1.25 figure. It is not that bad when it comes to looks. When it comes to quality, they all feel the same. This guy, it does feel hollow, but the plastic feels really, really nice. It feels sturdy. It feels it feels hard. You know, it feels hollow, like you could hear it. When you tap it, it feels hollow, but it doesn't feel like it's going to break, if that kind of makes sense. You know, it doesn't feel like other dollar store toys, because I've bought in dollar store toys when I was younger. They broke instantly. This one doesn't feel like it's going to break instantly when you move or anything. Now, I will say there is a couple of cracks you can see right here. There is a couple of cracks in the shoulders where he's supposed to be, I guess, supposed to like click in. And then right here at the bottom, you can see there's a space right there. Now, I don't know if that's going to cause it to break soon. Maybe it's just this figure, and maybe if you buy another Steadfast, it won't be like that. But yeah, but that is how my Steadfast is right now. It doesn't worry me when I'm moving them at all that it's gonna break. So, you know, I don't feel any like movements. I feel like it's just a space in there. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break anytime soon. Also, I will say with his robotic hand, I feel like his robotic hand does not grip onto weapons that great because it has a bigger he has a bigger open hand when it's like the other hand's like this, and this one's kind of like wider. So I feel like this hand doesn't hold weapons all that great. It really depends on the weapon. But I feel like this hand grips the weapons really, really nicely. It doesn't really move. When I put it on this hand, I feel like most of the weapons wobble. So here's Thorn. He has a nice little metallic look to him. Remember, this is Series 2, so they really did really well on the painting in Series 2, especially with this guy and Scope. There he is. He has the same points of articulation as Steadfast. He does come with these kind of like Assassin's Creed style weapons. Only Assassin's Creed you would shoot it from your bottom of your wrist, not the top. But you clip on, and they're like knives, I guess. He's kind of like an assassin character, I'm guessing. So that's really cool. And then he comes with a pistol that fits really nicely in here. You want to take a closer look at it. There you go. It fits really nice into this holster, which does have a hole in the back, so it does fall out if you kind of hit it. If you hit it this way, as you can see, if you hit it, goes in. Sorry about the blurriness, but if you put it in this way, if you hit it forward, it's gonna pop out. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. It just depends on how hard you hit against it. But if you're just posing it, it's gonna stay really nicely in that holster. And then he does have this hood that does come off. And the way that you put it on is you see this little peg right here. It fits into this hole right here. And as you can see, he has two faces. He's like two-faced. The paint is a little off on him. You can see some of the pink paint got on his human face. And it's a little like faded. But you could turn his head and you get, I don't know if he's supposed to be an alien or a robot, but this is why I feel like his character is a bad guy, because of his, he has two faces to him. So it would make sense that he's a bad guy. But yeah, so that looks cool, just like how the other side looks cool. I think it looks cooler with the, I'm just gonna call it the alien head. It looks cooler with the alien head or the robotic head. But yeah, this guy looks pretty cool when it comes to paint. He looks really sick. Now, I do find it harder for him to hold weapons that are guns. It just really depends, like this gun. With all the weapons I've noticed with these characters, it depends on the weapons. Like sometimes these weapons, the weapons, if they're pistols, they hold them really nicely. Some characters don't hold them at all. If it's a machete, they don't really hold it well at all. Like it really just depends on the weapon and how big the weapon is. So I will say not all of the weapons work with all of the characters. I feel like it really just depends on the weapon and how tight the grip is on the figures. So yeah, and these do tend to fall out easily when playing with them or when moving them around. So yeah, other than that, I think this guy is pretty sick. I like his paint color. I think the paint color on him is really sick. I like the metallic look. So he has like this purple. It looks pink. It looks blue on camera, but it's really purple. It's a dark purple in real life. So yeah, I really like the metallic look. So yeah, that was Thorn, I believe. Thorn. And then we'll take a look at Shift. Now, she is a female character. So far, there's only been her and the new figure that was released. I don't remember her name. But this is Thorn. She was the first female character to come out. She comes with two swords. This is probably the best looking figure out of all of the ones that I have, because his head is deformed. He has paint kind of everywhere. He also is missing paint. And the paint is everywhere. But her, like, the paint job on her is way better. As you can see, there's like only one spot right here. I think her face is perfect. Her face is perfect, in my opinion. Nothing wrong with her face at all. Not deformed, not missing paint. Down here, again, you still got some red spots right here, but those could easily be fixed without completely repainting her. So I think this is the best looking figure that I have out of all these guys. You got the black right here, but again, you could easily paint that without completely painting the figure. But yeah, I think she is the best looking figure that I have, in my opinion. And she has the same points, all these, again, all 5 points of articulation the same. Now her hair does get in the way of her head movement, so she doesn't have that full 360 available to her, or even more, so her hair does get into it. Now I saw some people saying that her hair kind of blocks her weapons, which I don't really see that. So without the weapon on her, she has more movement without the weapons, but she can't do a full 360 because of her hair. Here are her swords. They're sheathed and they do come out easily, and she does hold them very well. What kind of swords have these like handles on the side? I don't know. I'm not for sure what those are, but yeah. So she does hold these swords pretty well. Now I find it that she holds swords and stuff better than she does guns. I feel like guns fall out of her hands way easier when she holds other weapons like swords, machetes really, really well. But when it comes to guns, she just doesn't hold them that great. But yeah, and you can see it's a little bending right here, but these weapons are pretty flexible, so you could just pop it or heat it up and move it back to being straight. But yeah, so she does hold these really, really well. Depending, it doesn't matter what side this side handle is. But yeah, she does hold them really, really well. So now when it comes to putting the sheath back on, a lot of people were getting upset because she would only look to the right or left depending on how you put her hair. But if you do mess with it a little bit, you can get this massive hairpiece right here. This massive hairpiece, you can get it in the middle of the sheath so she's looking straight. So you just put this down a little bit and you push her hair. It's not going to hurt the figure because you're just pushing it just like just an inch. And then you push the hair into the middle of each sword. And boom, you're able to have her look straight or to the left or to the right. Oh, she doesn't look to the right too much because of this hair. But yeah, if you want her looking in the middle with the sheath in her back, all you got to do is just move the hair around. It's not going to break the figure. If you do break the figure, it's just $1.25. But yeah, you can have her looking straight with the sheaths, with the swords on her back. So now getting into Scope. Scope, in my opinion, has the best body when it comes to any of these figures. Again, I think overall Shift is the best figure that I have, but I really do like Scope's design and his look. Probably my favorite. He's not painted on the back. Most of these guys aren't really painted on the back, but he does have that nice metallic red. Now his face is probably where it kind of stops being like a really, really good figure, because as you can see, they have black everywhere. They have black missing in the hair. On this eyebrow, you can't really see his other eyebrow because the paint's missing. But yeah, I think if this paint job was better on the face, it would have just been an overall perfect figure, because there's no really any paint missing or splotched up or anywhere else on this figure that I could see. And I just love this figure. It's probably one of my favorite figures besides Shift. He does come with 2 pistols with the same kind of holsters. Now, these pistols are way smaller than the one that came with Thorn. As you can see, these are way smaller. They kind of remind me of Power Ranger blasters. So yeah, and they're identical. So because these are smaller, I feel like his holsters are made for smaller weapons or smaller pistols. But they do fit nicely. Again, you put them in there the same way as you do Thorn. And they will fall out, again, if you push them with a lot of force in the front. You can see they will fall out. But normally, when I was moving them around, when I was doing things with them, they weren't really falling out because it was really, really tight in there. So, yeah, and he can hold them. He holds these pistols the best, in my opinion. Everybody else they either hold them really nicely or they just fall out of their hands. He holds them nicely. And again, I feel like with these figures, these hands, they're just, this hand in particular, their left hand, or the way we're looking at it, the right hand, is way looser of a grip. You can see the pistol it's wobbly in there. So yeah, see, I feel like one little bump and it's gonna fall out. Most of these figures, this hand, the grip on it is just too loose. I wish they would have just made it as tight as this grip did. Now he also does come with a backpack or like a side bag, I guess. I don't know what he would call it. Now it does plug into his back, but it's really loose. It doesn't fit in there at all. I try to push it in with a bunch of force and it just doesn't. It's really loose. See, it's really, really loose. It falls out. I mean, I don't know why they made it so loose, but yeah. He also comes with a sniper. I believe this is a sniper. Has a scope on the top. Really nice looking sniper. It's really cool. And it does have a peg, and the peg doesn't go in the back, actually. It can go in his back, but it's extremely loose, just like the bag. As you can see, it's extremely loose. But this bag that he comes with, it does have a hole right here. And I think it's meant for this sniper piece to go through. And the sniper actually holds really, really well in that bag. So I think that's how it goes. And then you're supposed to put it on his back. But even with the sniper piece in it, this is still extremely loose. It does not hold at all. And I try to put it where the screws are, but again, it doesn't go in because the screws are in the way. So it's just extremely loose. There's no point because it just falls out. Even when he's just standing there, it will fall out. So that sucks. He does hold the sniper really well. Again, these guns don't have, or these guys don't have a lot of articulation because, again, it's $1. So he can't really like grip it and lay down like he's an actual sniper. So you're just going to have him hold it straight like this, and it does not hold that great in his hands. Again, I feel like smaller guns are meant to be held by this guy because this sniper just doesn't really hold. When it comes to the weapons and accessories, again, it's really iffy on if they will hold them or not, at least with the figures that I have here. But yeah, overall, without these weapons, with just the 2 pistols, I really like the look of him. And he does hold the pistols really well. It's just the sniper and the bag that suck. So this is the whole reason why I got into this figure line, like I said, is because of this dog mech. Now, he does not have a lot of painting. As you can see, it's mainly gray and it's like a dark or tannish brown. He does have some molding, PDO. That's the name of the mech. You have some yellow right there, like a strip. His eyes are red. His nose is black. So you have some paint details, some there, but it's not a lot. And the painting is not off because most of this dude is gray and, like I said, that brownish tan. When it comes to the articulation, this guy, again, has the same 5 points of articulation. His head does move left, and it does move right. It does get a little stuck there. I maybe I could do a full 360, but I don't want to push it and then the head breaks. Now the arms, or the front paws, do go a full 360. You just have to kind of like get it an inch away from the back legs. So the front legs do a full 360. The back legs don't, because if you push them forward, they're gonna hit the chest, and the back legs won't go around the chest. But if you go back again, you're going to have that same problem. It's getting too tight to go full 360, but the legs and the movement on this guy is really, really good. As you can see, you have him in different poses, stuff like that, depending on what you want to do, and he does stand really, really well. All these guys stand really, really well, by the way. Maybe Shift, kind of like, because for her body and how it goes from like thick to thin to thick, she does tip over a little bit. But yeah, he does stand well. His tail does move if you want it to move. It is really, really rubbery. I can move it around like this, and I don't feel like it's going to break, as you can see. But yeah, I wish it was kind of like a spring so you could hit it and it looks like it's wagging, but we don't get that here. His back piece does open up. Now, it does open up pretty easy, as you can see. If you tip it over, it opens. Any little movement will open it. If you're throwing them around, it's going to open, so I don't like that too much. But when you do open them up, you have the little dog figure in there. You have a little Churro in there. Take him out. Now inside is just hollow. Nothing in there, no stickers, no molding for like computers or a screen or nothing. It's just hollow in there. Nothing special. Now we'll take a look at Churro. And again, he is just that all tan, brownish tan color. The only thing painted on him is his eyes and his nose, and it's actually pretty well painted. The eye is a little off, a little bit more than this one, but it's not too bad. I like it. It looks funny. And you could, if you really wanted to paint him, you could, because there's a lot of detail on this guy. You can see he has the harness with the handle, so you could grab him. You have his fur, and the fur does go over the harness if you see the detail. He does have a collar. It looks like he has a collar as well. Yeah, this guy's really, really detailed. You could really paint him up to look really nicely. So that's cool. If you guys have painted him, let me know because I want to see what colors people come up with when it comes to him. And again, he does fit in there. Now, I have tested putting weapons in there, and you can put weapons in there, but you want to put the smaller pistols in there. You don't want to put anything bulky like this. Don't put anything like this in there, even if it will fit. Yeah, you want to put smaller weapons. Let me go ahead and bring out the weapons pack. I have it right here. So since we're talking about putting weapons into this guy, let me go ahead and bring out the accessories pack. Now, I already opened the accessories pack. I put them all on this tray. So let's go ahead and see what we get. So we get a drone. Looks really cool. It's really detailed. It's just gray, but it is really detailed if you want to paint it. Just a drone. These guys don't hold it or nothing. It's just a drone. It doesn't go on anybody's back. I wish it did go on somebody's back so you could kind of make it look like they're flying, but it's just a regular piece, you know, nothing special about that. It does come with this hoverboard, which is really nice. They all pretty much fit on this hoverboard, but like characters like her, so she can only be pegged into one of them, as you can see, because her legs are they're smaller and they're so close together that you're not really gonna be able to peg it into the back one. But you can fit somebody like Scope onto both of them. Now you do have to stretch his leg just a tiny bit, but he will step on both pegs, as you can see. So it just depends on the figure, on how they stand and how well they're flexible on their legs. But I really like this hoverboard. It's really cool. I would like to see this really painted and designed for Scope. Again, I don't know how to paint or customize, but if I did, I would paint this to match Scope. Next up, we have a machete. It's just a black, I think it's a machete. Just a black machete. Really cool. Nice to have. This is, I believe it's night vision goggles, but it doesn't fit on anybody. So I don't know why we have this, why they gave it to us. Maybe it's meant for another character, but it doesn't fit on any of the characters I have. As you can see, it's really loose. Doesn't fit on this guy. I'm not going to take Thorn's hood off, but just trust me, it doesn't fit on him. Doesn't fit on Scope, and it won't fit on Shift's head because of her hair. See, it's not going on there. So none of the figures that I have here are gonna fit. I was even thinking maybe the dog, but doesn't fit on the dog either. So I don't know if this fits on any of the characters. If it does, let me know, but it doesn't fit on any of the characters I have, so this to me is useless. So here's the jetpack. It does fit on pretty much all of them, I believe. For my testing, it does fit on all of them. But some of these weapons don't really fit on this guy. They're not meant to. As you see, this is too big for the holes, so it doesn't fit on there. I think the only thing that I got to fit on this was the backpack from Scope. And it doesn't go all the way on there. So you can't make him look like he's a bag runner or whatever, because it doesn't really fit. You have that gap there. But that's the only thing that I could get to fit on him. Next we have this kind of like so it came separate like this, and then I saw it had a hole, and none of the other guns or pistols have that, so I put this in there, and I think that's how it's supposed to go. Maybe it's supposed to be like a grappling hook where you put a string in that hole and then a string right here, and it's supposed to grapple onto it. I don't know. That's what I think. If not, you could take this out and it kind of looks like an SMG type of gun. You can't really hold this. None of the guys or the girl holds this by itself, so you would have to put it into something. You would have to put it into this. But yeah, it looks better without it in my opinion, but if you want a grappling hook, there you go. Now it did come with two different style pistols. This is a black one. It kind of looks like maybe like a shotgun pistol, I guess. So there's the black one. And then here's the gray one, which I love the look of this gray one. Kind of looks like a Desert Eagle from Rainbow Six Siege. See, I like the look of that one. This one looks really cool. And yeah, so that was the weapons packs. So now when it comes to these characters holding the weapons, it really just depends on the character and how well their grip is. Sometimes the weapons grip is really, really well with these characters. Sometimes it's not. It just depends on the character and it depends on their grip. I will say that these accessories do not work with all of them. Some of them work with some of them. Others don't work with any of them at all, like the helmet. So it really just depends on the figure and the grip of their hand. So as I was saying with Churro, you could kind of make them like a loot box, like a running loot box, where you could put these pistols in there. And then you can have Churro back in here. And he holds better when there's weapons in there, because when you close it, you could open it and take him back out, and he's already standing, when usually he just falls like this. But sometimes, depending on how much weapons you have in there, he will stand there just like that and not move at all. But you could kind of have him walk out, and you could kind of dump out the weapons, and he drops off the weapons to the good guys. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's a cool feature. Or you could just stuff him with a bunch of pistols and just have it as storage and just have Churro, you know, there. So for Dollar Tree figures, I think they're really, really well done. I really love these figures. Usually when it comes to dollar store toys, they are pretty iffy because the plastic, you don't know if it's going to be cheap plastic. Usually, most of the time, it is cheap plastic. But with these, I don't know how they pulled it off, but the plastic feels really hefty. Doesn't feel like it's going to break. And I think these figures are really, really well done, especially when it comes to the paint jobs. Even though some of them, in some parts it's sloppy, overall it is really, really well painted in my opinion. I am an articulation type of toy collector. I love when my toys have a lot of articulation. But when it comes to $1.25, are you really going to complain about the articulation? No, you're not. I think it's really, really well done. I think the team behind Final Faction or Dollar Tree, whoever's working on these figures, did a really, really good job. And I'm definitely going to be picking up the other ones. I'm going to get into this line. I'm going to collect this line. And I'm probably going to be picking up some more weapons packs. I'm probably going to be picking up multiples of these, especially the bad guys. I'm going to try to army build with the bad guys, and I will take a look at those when I get those. But yeah, so Final Faction, you've made this guy a fan, and I definitely highly recommend these, especially for $1.25, guys. $1.25 for these figures. Mwah, beautiful, nice price range for me. Definitely highly recommend these. And yeah, so that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts on these figures and Final Faction in general down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.